Thank you much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dixon, and I'm from IMD's Digital Infrastructure Division. Our division oversees the sustainable growth of data center industry in Singapore. Singapore is a regional data center hub with a total capacity exceeding 1.4 gigawatts. So data centers are fundamental to the digital economy and are currently experiencing significant growth due to increasing AI compute workloads. Today, I'll be sharing about the Energy Efficiency Grant, or EEG, for the data center sector. The grant is part of IMDA's broader push towards sustainability and energy efficiency in our digital infrastructure. Okay, so we'll be covering 5 key areas: what the EEG is, the eligibility criteria, grant support details, equipment supported, and we'll also run through the whole grant process. Okay, let me start by explaining what the EEG is. The Energy Efficiency Grant is a co-funding initiative designed to help businesses transition towards being more energy efficient. For the data center sector specifically, this grant supports data center end users in adopting pre-approved energy efficient IT equipment. This initiative is particularly important because while data centers are crucial to the digital economy, they are also intensive energy users. Okay, next, let's talk about who can apply. The eligibility criteria for the EEG is very straightforward. To qualify, your company needs to meet 3 key requirements. First, you must be a registered business entity in Singapore. This means that you are ICRA registered. So non-business entities will not qualify for the grant. So for entities like charities, religious organizations, government agencies and their subsidiaries, cooperatives and societies, sorry, you guys are not eligible. Second, you need to employ at least 1 local employee at firm level. And thirdly, your group annual sales turnover should not be more than 500 million Sing dollars. This grant for the DC sector is open to companies from any industry sector. You don't need to be an IT company to apply. The important thing is that you are an end user of the data center. So the equipment funded by the grant must be hosted in a commercial data center. Okay, grant support. What are the support levels and benefits of EEG? The grant offers different levels of support depending on your company size. For SMEs, we provide 70% of equipment costs. To qualify for as an SME, your company should either have a group annual sales turnover of no more than 100 million Sing dollars or no more than 200 employees. For non-SMEs, we provide 30% support of equipment costs. Regardless of your company size, there's a grant cap of 30,000 Sing dollars across all your EEG applications. This cap applies across sectors. So if you have already received EEG support for other equipment, this amount will count towards your total. As an example, if your company has received EEG funding of $5,000 for LED lighting, you will only have $25,000 left for other EEG equipment. And this support is to reduce the cost barrier to adopting energy efficient equipment so as to help Singapore companies improve their operational efficiency while contributing to sustainability goals. Okay, next. Currently, the EEG supports 2 main categories of equipment: data center storage and enterprise servers. However, not all storage and server equipment qualifies. To be eligible, the equipment must meet 2 key requirements. First, it must be Energy Star certified for energy efficiency. This is an internationally recognized standard that ensures that the equipment meets strict energy performance standards. Second, it must comply with Class A2 of S-Race environmental class, and it means that it can operate at temperature up to 35 degrees Celsius. You can find the current list of supported equipment on the Go Business website. It is currently consists of equipment from Dell, HPE, Lenovo, Supermicro, and Xfusion. We regularly update this list as equipment manufacturers submit new models through our RFI process. The next RFI, request for information, will be in September 2025. Okay, so here is an overview of the grant parameters. The EEG operates on a reimbursement basis, which means that you have to make full payment for your equipment first and then claim the grant amount afterwards. Reimbursement is based on a percentage of the qualifying costs paid by the applicant. Second thing is regarding the timing. So we can only support expenses that fall into what we call the qualifying period. This period starts from the day you first submit your EEG application. Any expenses before that cannot be claimed, even if they are for eligible equipment. Okay, yeah. And third, let's be clear about what the costs that we can support. The grant only covers actual purchase price of the equipment itself. This means if you see items in the invoice like shipping fees, administrative charges, bank fees, all these are not covered. And just as a reminder also, GST is not covered under the grant as well. Okay, next. Okay, let me walk you through the practical aspects of applying for and claiming the grant. For applications, everything is done through the Business Grants Portal or the BGP. This is a one-stop portal for businesses to apply for government grants. Applicants will need a corporate pass to access this. And the process is actually very straightforward. First, you need to check the pre-approved equipment list on Go Business, and then you get your quotations from the vendor. And third, you can just submit the application through BGP. Remember that you will need to have a proof of hosting with a commercial data center as well. This can be in the form of the current bill from your hosting provider. A crucial point to note is that do not make any payments or deposits before applying. Okay, yeah, because the qualifying period of the grant starts from the day of application. Okay, yeah. And the deadline for applications is 31st March 2026. We are currently not sure if the grant will continue after 31st of March 2026. And we're also not sure if the support level of 30% for SMEs will be maintained. So please apply early. As I've mentioned, companies will have a 1-year period to submit their claims. Okay. Next. Okay, just to show, this is the Go Business Singapore website where you can check the whitelist of the EEG equipment. There's actually a lot of information there, and I've highlighted the portion where you can access the energy efficiency grant. You can use this to look for the whitelist of pre-approved equipment. Okay, next. Another thing I want to highlight is that as you scroll down into the EEG portion of the Go Business website, you'll see the eligibility and how to apply. There's actually a useful step-by-step guide to help grant applicants navigate through the business grant portal. Following the grant approval, you will need to accept our letter of offer. So the LOF will specify what is the eligible claim amount, and it outline the terms and conditions of the grant. Once accepted, you can proceed to purchase the equipment, install it in the data center specified in your application. And when the installation is done, you can submit your claims. The claims process. Let me walk you through the claims process. All claims are submitted through the business grant portal. And before submitting your claim, make sure you have meet these key milestones. First, you must have purchased the equipment, put it to use, paid for all the expenses in full, and gathered the necessary documentation. For documentation, you will need to provide invoices, proof of payment, delivery orders, photos showing of the equipment, showing that it's been installed and in use. So for equipment with serial numbers, we'll need photos of that as well. Do note that you typically have 12 months from grant approval date to submit your claim. Once approved, there's a 1-year holding period which your equipment must remain with your business. So during this time, our team may conduct random on-site visits to verify the assets. The verification serves two purposes. First is to confirm that the equipment matches what was approved in the application, and second also is to ensure that the equipment remains in active use throughout this holding period. Okay, so let's address some of the frequently asked questions. First, regarding equipment purchased before the grant application. If you already bought servers before submitting the EEG applications, I'm sorry, this will not be eligible. The qualifying period only begins from your application submission date. This means any equipment purchased before the date, even if they are eligible models, they cannot be claimed. Second is about industry eligibility. So the EEG for the data center sector is industry agnostic. This means you don't need to be from any specific sector to apply. However, you need to meet the criteria that was mentioned previously. You must be registered in Singapore, employed at least one local staff, group annual sales turnover of not more than 500 million Sing dollars, and most importantly, your EEG equipment must be hosted in a commercial data center. Okay, next, regarding multiple applications, yes, you can apply for the grant more than once. However, keep in mind that there's a total grant cap of 30,000 per company. These caps applies across all your EEG applications. Regarding equipment location, the EEG specifically requires that funded equipment must be hosted at a commercial data center. We cannot support equipment that's hosted at your office premise, as commercial data centers help to ensure consistent sustainability standards. And what happens if you are in a hurry to purchase equipment? I mean, I understand that business needs can be urgent, but what you need to know is that while the qualifying period begins from your date of application submission, you can only claim when your grant is approved. So if you purchase the equipment before getting approval, you are taking on a risk that if your application is not approved, the expenses will not be eligible for claims. Okay, last few questions regarding processing time. We typically take 2 to 4 weeks to process your application or claim, counting from when we receive all the required documents. Yeah, and to help you avoid common pitfalls, here are the main reasons applications get rejected. If the equipment is not hosted at a data center, it will be rejected. If it is proposing equipment that is not in our whitelist, it will be rejected. And also, we do a check on the cost as well. So if the cost significantly exceed market rates, it will be rejected as well. Lastly, regarding if the equipment is out of stock or the prices has changed, we understand that market conditions can change. So if your approved equipment becomes unavailable or the price has changed during implementation, don't worry. You can submit a change request, and we will be able to evaluate each proposal and come back to you on that. Yeah. So let me just wrap up with some key points. The EEG is actually a very straightforward grant. Basically, what you do is you apply to purchase for the pre-approved equipment, get the approval, purchase the equipment, host it, use it, and then you can do the claims already. Yeah, and support levels is at 70% for SMEs and 30% for non-SMEs. The grant is open until 31st March 2026, and if you don't have we are not sure if the grant will continue on after that, and whether the support will be at 70%. So what this means that is like you can apply up to 31st March 2026, and then if your application is ongoing, we will still honor the application and the implementation and claims after that. Yeah, but apply early. I think that's the message that I want to bring across. Yeah. Now, we are open to Q&A, but meanwhile, I greatly appreciate if you could take a moment to scan the QR code displayed. We have a brief survey to help us gather feedback about the presentation and to understand how we can better tailor the grant for businesses. Thank you.